Alright, hello everybody, Reclusive Oak here, and this is the first video in a series of an FTP, free-to-play, I really hate that term, free-to-play, wilderness-only challenge account. Now the basic premise was gotten off somebody who was doing this in Reddit, and it was based off, I believe, something to do with old school OSRS and these kind of niche accounts where, like the old classic ones were level 3 skiller, pures, zerkers, all these different kind of niche type accounts, which were rendered kind of useless, like zerkers and all that were completely useless after, I don't know if I think it was EOC that completely ruined it. Anyway, the key rules are that I can't leave the wilderness. Now the only crevet here would be that I can leave to get 15 mining because there's no method within the wilderness to obtain 15 mining. And using treasure hunter lamps would take forever considering you get one key per day in free-to-play. So, the basic rules are you can't leave the wilderness. The only bank that's available is the Daemonheim Bank, which you cannot use the Ring of Kingship to teleport there. The only teleport I'm allowed to use is the Wilderness Lodestone, which, can't even be used above, I think it's level 20 Wilderness, so it's not all that useful. So that's the premise, is I have to do all my leveling in the Wilderness. And basically, what I'm doing right now in this video is killing giant rats. I actually started with the giant spiders. They're right next to grizzly bears, and it's really difficult because you're constantly getting hit for like a lot of damage from those grizzly bears if you wander outside of the contained area. Anyway, this is the ruins on the map. And this is pretty much the first place, if you do a challenge like this, that you're going to train. Because there is nothing else in the wilderness that is going to be applicable to, a level 3 account. Now, as you can see, I've got about, I think, level 14 attack, 10 defense, and my strength, I think, is like 9. So my stats are not that high for this first episode. This is really just my introduction. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing what kind of schedule I'm going to be using because I'm really busy in real life with kids and I barely get time to play on my main as is that I'm trying to max. So this is really just something I'm doing for fun, but I'm thinking of trying to do 2 videos per week for now, and then as I get to those higher stats where leveling is slower, maybe slowing it down to once a week or bi-monthly. Now, for those of you that want to do this challenge, which I really suggest you do because it would be really interesting, and if you think it's a waste of time, once you're done with the free-to-play, say you've pretty much got the levels you want, you're tired of it, you can always upgrade the account to membership, and you'll have access to a little bit more of the wilderness, the mage bank, which a lot of people on this Reddit thread, I'm going to link it in the description below, were commenting, why don't you just use the mage bank? Well, that's a PTP, a pay-to-play feature, which I remember fondly from my classic and early RS2 days, where I would go and, I would go up to that gate and not know what was beyond it until I finally became a member when my mom bought me membership. If you're looking to do this challenge, I have some really quick and easy tips for you. One, as soon as you enter the wilderness, preferably from Edgeville, because what I did was I teleported to... No, I ran from Taverley all the way up to Edgeville and then entered from there. I really suggest you do that so that you can collect some trees, some logs right away, because I had to go back, try and find them. I was asking my clan. I didn't know where anything was. So I really, really suggest that that's what you do. Collect those, maybe do 2 or 3 inventories full, go to the Daemonheim Bank and bank those for being able to cook and level your fire making, as well as, fletching won't apply to a free-to-play account, I suppose. So really for food. Now, for food, you have 2 options when you're a level 3, like when you're just starting this. You have shrimps by the Wilderness Bandits, I think it's like Bandit Hideout or whatever, which can be tricky. If the spot for fishing the shrimp spawns too close, you will have this one annoying bandit who, unless you can lure him into getting stuck behind a certain piece of rubble, there's nothing you can do. So your only other source of food in the beginning that I've noticed is killing those giant rats. And unfortunately, those giant rats will deal quite a bit of damage at low levels. So your only option is killing those giant spiders. So to summarize, you either got to go for the shrimp or take a chance with getting some giant rat. Now, mind you, you're going to burn those shrimp. I burnt a lot of them in the beginning. So that's what I'm saying is it's a really interesting way to play. I'm thinking my next training area will probably be the zombies and AFKing once I get high enough combat stats. Really, what I'm aiming for right now is to increase that combat so that I can engage with some other types of combat with some other enemies and this type of thing, because that's where you're going to get a lot of the drops. It's basically an Iron Man account. So the standard Iron Man shit applies to this, where the only things I can pick up, which I have, are like the steel dagger and the iron medium helm, certain drops that are spawned by the server. Other than that, everything I need. If I want a better hatchet, if I want a better pickaxe, if I want better armor, it has to be either obtained through drops that I myself obtained or through player killing. And I'm thinking, I'm actually not sure if the green dragons in the wilderness, it's been a long time since I've been in the wilderness, obviously. I don't know if the green dragons, so if you could leave a comment in the comment section below, just let me know, are the green dragons free to play? Because if they are, which I'm having a feeling now that they're not, I could do some bot killing there. If they're not available and free to play, that's probably a training method or a method of obtaining drops from killing bots that I may do if I get to the point where I'm like, okay, let's do this in getting membership in the member version of the game. My real goal with this is going to be simple. It's not really about maxing. I'd say I'd like to get up to 70 or between 70 and 80 in combat skills and skilling skills, but that's going to be like super difficult because the only types of trees to cut for wood cutting and for fire making are ordinary trees. And I think they're 25 XP, each time you do it. I mean, can you imagine the XP rates on that? It's got to be like, well, this is RS3 and it's a bit easier, but I wouldn't say it's going to be more than, I don't know, 25k experience. It's going to be crazy. So if I can get to that point, then I might upgrade to the member version of the game. Honestly, why I love this type of thing is I started a Skyrim challenge quite similar to this, where I had to make everything myself. So I couldn't loot things like, in the beginning of the game in Skyrim, you would always get those really good drops. I can't pick those up. I have to make everything myself. I can't use bugs. I can't fast travel. All these kind of things. So it was actually really interesting because I'd played Skyrim so much, just like I've played RuneScape so much, it started getting a little bland. RuneScape on my main at this point is really just about maxing out so that I can finally, after 14 plus years, max that account out. Really, that gets boring after a while. And once I maxed on my main, I plan to do some combat, I plan to do some PVM, and that'll be about it. So really, this is just an interesting type of account. The links are in the description below for the original Reddit post that I saw. And apparently there is a Iron Man friends chat that is doing with some people that are doing this type of thing. So just be careful, because if you post videos like this, like I do, or if you especially stream, you may find yourself getting PK'd and stuff. So I would suggest that you just don't add friends on this account unless there's someone you really trust. But overall, I'd really suggest giving this type of account a go. I'm excited. So I'm going to be trying to pump out at least, about 2 episodes a week for now, because my stats are so low. I'm going to be leveling so much. If I wait a week, it's going to be, going from like 15 attack to, I don't know, like 35 or something like that in a week. I don't know. So I'm going to be trying to do them a little slower and then slowing them down. So you can see on the map there, the kind of situation of things. There's not a lot out there, but it really brings the wilderness back. So if you're interested in this type of thing, check out the video description below with all the links. And I'm looking forward to making the next episode. I'll see you then. Have a great day. Reclusive Oak out.